Introduce yourselves first.
I'm James Honeybone from Cornwall.
I'm Corinna Lawrence and I do épée.
Fantastic. And tell us a little bit about how you got into fencing.
When I was at school, I just wanted to try out most sports, to be honest, and anything that the school offered, I would give it a go. But fencing was something I'd always really wanted to do. Ever since I was really young, I wasn't interested in playing with toy guns. I only ever wanted to play with toy swords. And I was actually too young to start fencing. And I wanted to do it for 2 years and I wasn't allowed. And then when I was in year 4, when I was 9, I think, I was allowed to start. And I never looked back.
I started at primary school as well because my two other sisters started ahead of me and I just got dragged along. Like I did to tennis and to swimming, and fencing was the one which we all happened to be good at, and so that's why we all stuck with it. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that journey from being 9 and getting into fencing and going through to being at the Olympics.
Well, it's a pretty long journey, to be honest. I'd say what sums it up pretty much is a lot of hard work. I mean, you have to sacrifice certain things when you're growing up, kind of missing out sometimes on social parties and stuff, and you're going away to boring sports halls in Eastern Europe instead. But at the same time, I don't regret any of it. It's all completely worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to get to elite in anything, whether it's in your career or a sport, you do have to have a lot of commitment, determination and motivation, and it's about never giving up. I mean, when you had all those assignments you have to do on the planes on the way back from Germany, you just got them done, and it was that drive and motivation to succeed is, why we're all here. But I mean, for me, the turning point was when I was sat in an RE class in year 11 when it got announced that Great Britain had the Olympic Games in 2012, and I jumped up and screamed because I had the radio of my sleeve into my ear, and then it was from that day that I was just like, I can do that, and I want to go to the Olympics, and that was the turning point for me.
So is there any one particular thing that's inspired you and really engages you and gets your passion for fencing going, or is it?
I think fencing's a sport which is very different to many other sports. I mean, it requires a lot of physical attributes and also a lot of mental attributes. I mean, you have to be able to think ahead of your opponent, trick them into doing things that they don't really want to be doing, and it demands a lot from you. And I mean, it never gets boring. It's not just about pushing your body as far as it can go. It's actually also about the mind as well. So, I mean, how demanding it is, it's just a phenomenal sport to try. And I don't think you can appreciate it until you actually try it, and that sort of sets fencing apart from many other sports.
Yeah, I mean, like Corinna said, it's a big mix of physical and mental, both sides. I mean, you can be the fittest guy in the world, but if you haven't got a fencing brain, then you're just going to get smashed. But if you've got a good fencing brain and you're out of steam immediately, then you're going to lose as well. Also, I think it's a sport that I fell in love with straight away, and it's a sport that has a very upper-class image in the country, and I really hate that, to be honest. I mean, like, I've got piercings and tattoos and stuff, and I'm not an upper-class guy at all. So, I mean, it's an image I'd really like to change and let people know that fencing is a more available sport than maybe they think it is.
Fantastic. And in terms of any young sports person aspiring to get to the top or even just participate, have you got one piece of advice that you could offer them in terms of how they can both enjoy their sport and succeed?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my one bit of advice is dreams will always be dreams unless you believe in them and make them happen. If you want to be the next top lawyer, then you can do it if you try hard enough and you work hard enough and you've got some people around you to support you. So it's all about realising your dreams and actually putting the effort in to make them happen.
That was a good quote from Corinna, and I don't think I'm going to be able to come up with something so catchy. But for me, it would be there is absolutely no substitution for hard work.
Okay, fantastic. And you both talked a little bit about those people that have supported you. Just give us a little bit more of an insight into some of the people that have supported you through your careers and development.
I mean, for me, it would be my mum. Has just been there every single step of the way. From when I started fencing when I was 9 to at the Olympics, she was there watching me, and she has always been there for me. And also my coach, who he gave me my very first fencing lesson, and he's still my coach today, which is a very rare thing. And he has just given up so much for me, and he's always been there for whatever I need.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, family have always been there. My sisters have been there every competition, helping me at the end of the piece. My mum has been, the biggest support. All the financial sacrifices, not going on holidays, and all those school trips I couldn't go on. But they made so many sacrifices for me, and it was a really proud moment for them and for me to be at the games and them watching. But also, actually, friends are really supportive as well, because you don't want to bog your family down with all the highs and the lows, every week, because inevitably it's always up and down. But friends who sacrifice, knowing you're not going to be able to come out this week, you're not going to be able to come out next week, you're not going to see them for coffee, they are always there whenever you need them.
Guys, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Great to be in Guernsey, and fantastic you've come over. Super.
Thank you.
Thank you.